Hi, it's Ashley. For the next 12 minutes, I'll be your host for the 2012 IPMA Annual Conference and Expo Site Selection Presentation. A week after the 2009 Annual Conference and Expo, Mike and I sat down and updated the IPMA's RFP that will be distributed to the Convention and Visitors Bureaus and National Hotel Sales Representatives for properties from every major city on the West Coast, from Vancouver, British Columbia, to San Diego, California, and over to Las Vegas, Nevada. The IPMA included those cities and Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Hollywood, Long Beach, and Anaheim. From there, with the assistance of the IPMA Executive Committee, we narrowed it down to 4 cities: Las Vegas, San Francisco, Seattle, and Vancouver. During the first 3 weeks of January, Mike and I saw Caesar's Palace, the Cosmopolitan, Paris, and Wynn in Las Vegas. In San Francisco, we saw the Marriott Marquis and the Fairmont. In Seattle, we saw the Fairmont Olympic, the Sheraton, and the Westin. And in Vancouver, we saw the Fairmont Hotel Van, the Fairmont Waterfront, and the Sheraton Wall Center. Of these 12 properties in 4 cities, we narrowed it down to the recommended properties, which are the 2 Fairmont properties in Vancouver, the Hotel Van and the Waterfront. The first question you might have is, why Vancouver? Or why not Las Vegas, San Francisco, or Seattle? Vancouver is hot. As some of you might have heard, Vancouver is currently hosting the Winter Olympics. The world's attention is on this beautiful city that I am personally estimating that at least 75% of IPMA members have never visited. It is cosmopolitan, welcoming, has everything IPMA members want. In addition, from discussions with the Executive Committee and some other board members, Vancouver is quite a favorable location. Now, San Francisco and Seattle are wonderful cities in their own right, with great shopping, dining, attractions, etc., but they are not Vancouver. And there is that sort of been there, done that mentality with it. The IPMA has been there as early as 2000 and 2005, respectively. And as a surprise to both Mike and myself, Las Vegas would be a nice fit for the IPMA. The cities and properties have lots of potential, and we are proposing the IPMA considers them for 2014. But we can discuss this more during the board meeting. So besides Vancouver being so wonderful, you might still be wondering, why are Mike and I recommending the 2 Fairmont Vancouver properties, not the other properties? During site visits, we're not just analyzing the cities, but the overall feel of the properties. Sometimes we can walk into a property and just know that this is it. We had that with both of the Fairmont Vancouver properties, and we did not have that at other properties, though they all had their pros in addition to their cons. For example, the Marriott Marquis in San Francisco had a wonderful location within the city, but the cons were that the service staff attitude and responsiveness was not to IPMA levels. And they also offered us a pre-negotiated $239 sleeping room rate, which is a bit high. And their floor of their meeting space was a little bit confusing and required a lot of different floors to access. The Fairmont San Francisco was a beautiful property with great meeting space, as you can see by the image of the proposed Expo space. But a con was that it was location within the city. It was a bit removed from Union Square. And they also had a pre-negotiated $259 sleeping room rate. And if we look at the Fairmont Olympic in Seattle, a pro was it was location within the city. But a con was the flow of the meeting space and size of the meeting space. We would be taking most of the meeting space that they offered at the hotel, but as you can see that they offered us the image below with their expo space, it included a stairwell and was only about 6,000 square feet. And most of our seating would be, I think they offered was theater. And then if you look at the Sheraton Seattle, a pro again was location within the city. They had a pre-negotiated $169 sleeping room rate, but their meeting space was over 3 floors, including floors on the 1st, 3rd, and 35th. And then the Westin Seattle. The location within the city was great. They offered a great meeting proposal. Space was great, $205 sleeping room rate, and their other requirements. It was a really great package. Then we look at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Pro was the flow of the meeting space. Despite it being a really large hotel and meeting center, the space that they offered us was all together and it felt very intimate. Their forum shops were another draw, but then the con was that their sleeping rooms were in one tower and the meeting space was in another tower. And it required a walk through the casino and shopping to access the sleeping rooms and the meeting space. And then the distance between check-in and the sleeping rooms required another walk between 2 casinos and shopping. And with the Paris in Las Vegas, another pro was the flow of the meeting space. Like Caesar's Palace, they offered it all in one area and it felt very intimate. And they had a nice pre-negotiated $169 sleeping room rate. But a con was that the quality of the sleeping rooms. They felt very drab and unrememberable. And if you look at the Wynn Las Vegas, a pro was the Wynn name recognition. A con is that they had initial $100,000 food and beverage minimum. And the distance between check-in and sleeping rooms requires a long walk through the casino. And then the Cosmopolitan Las Vegas is a new property, a great location. It is between the Bellagio and the new City Center district, which is a big shopping, dining, and gaming complex. The flow of the meeting space was great. Again, it was all in one area. Guest check-in was immediately adjacent to an elevator. You do not have to walk through a casino or shopping like in most of the hotels in Las Vegas. Beautiful sleeping rooms, like you can see by the image. Most of them are set up in a suite type format. A con is that it's under construction, but it is scheduled to open in December 2010. And with it being under construction and not being tied down to a brand, there's no basis of service standards. And also at this point, we'll be unsure of their food and beverage minimums. And then finally, there is the Sheraton Wall Center in Vancouver. A pro is that all their sleeping rooms have floor-to-ceiling windows with a city or mountain view. But a con is that those sleeping rooms are small and pretty average. Another con is their expo space utilizes a foyer, which is a main hotel walkway, and that is a potential security issue. And as you can see in the image, the tile area is the public walkway, which will also be used for the expo.